Hello, and welcome to Explore Analytics' training modules. We're going to walk through the very basics of using Explore Analytics so that you can dive in, get started, and begin building reports today. Today we're going to start with the key concepts. So this is a great starting point if you're brand new to Explore Analytics and you really want to know kind of what does it do, what are some of the key things to look for, and we'll point you in the direction of finding out more about a lot of these key concepts. So we'll start with Explore Analytics as a whole. The idea of Explore Analytics is that we give you a complete reporting solution. It's a fast and easy way to build reports of a number of different styles. Now, the terms reports and analytics gets thrown around a lot, so I want to make sure that we're clear that we cover a whole range of reports. You can use Explore Analytics for self-service ad hoc reports. So if you have a question on the fly, and you want to be able to drag and drop to get, the average number of tickets opened up by country or the sales performance by team in a pivot report. That's what we mean by self-service ad hoc reports. You can just drag and drop and build a report on the fly. You can also assemble these reports into real-time operational dashboards. And what we mean by operational is that they can be drillable. You can take action on them. So you can create a dashboard or dashboards that allow you to present real-time data to folks, have them drill through, take action, and be able to really use that as a point of action. And we also do KPIs and standard metrics. So being able to benchmark something, whether it's something like a average time to deliver something or a backlog of tasks or if you wanted to see the cost per user and track that month over month or year over year, we can snapshot the results of these reports on a regular basis and be able to track that over time. And then lastly, at Explore Analytics, we package pre-built libraries of reports that we call applications. And you can also put together packages of reports for distribution, and we'll talk about that today. But when you're thinking about Explore Analytics, the types of reports and trends that you can get really span end-to-end all of those different types of reporting. So if you're doing anything today, either on the fly, or if you're building real-time operational dashboards, or you want to track something over time and then package that together, Explore Analytics is going to be able to deliver that. So we're going to talk about 5 key terms in this quick video. Obviously, this is just some foundational knowledge, and we'll go a lot deeper into these in future videos, which you can check throughout our channel. But we're going to talk about views, data sources, mashups, dashboards, and applications. The view is going to be one of the most common terms you come across. This is in Explore Analytics, how we are displaying the data. Now, in some cases, you might use the term report in conversation to describe this, charts or pivots or lists, scorecards, all the different ways that we display to the user the information, either real-time or trend, we call that a view. If you're coming from other business intelligence tools where you're working with the database, you might confuse this with the concept of a database view. We're not talking about anything in the data itself, how it's being mashed together. We're actually referring to a list view. That's a report that's showing information in a list. Or a timeline view, right? That's the display of whatever time series data you're looking at in a timeline over time. So every time you're watching these videos or these things, we're going to use the term view in the way that some people use reports or some people use chart or visualization. A view is an Explore Analytics display of the data. Now, all of these views are pulling from a data source. So when you're looking at views and working with them, it's going to be very important to understand what's the source of the data. Now, you can find more information about this, but with Explore Analytics, we have the ability to have some real-time data sources, which can be cloud data sources like the Amazon Cloud or ServiceNow as an application or Google Cloud, or real-time data sources that are within your network, like a MySQL database or an Oracle database, and we have other relational databases as well. The key to understand is that when we're talking about those real-time data sources, it means that any view that's built directly against that real-time data source is going to query, is going to pull the data in real time when you load that view. On top of that, we also have two other major sources of data. One is trend jobs. So a trend job is something that you can define within Explore Analytics that's going to run a report against a real-time data source and then save the results of that report to the Explore data source within Explore Analytics. The Explore data source is very special in that way. So for example, if you want every day us to measure how many tickets are still open at the end of the day and save the results to the Explore data source, that would be what in Explore Analytics we call a trend job. And again, there's more information on how to define and what those rules are about trend jobs, but just know a trend job runs a real report and saves the results of that report or view to the Explore data source. And then lastly, the other major source of data is if you're uploading or importing data to Explore Analytics. That also is going to be stored in that Explore data source. So for example, if you have a CSV file that has the list of users by location and you want to import that to Explore Analytics, you can do that via file upload and you'll find that in Explore. So anytime you're looking at a view, it's important to understand, have you built it against a real-time data source where you're querying the data live, against a trend data source where on a schedule that you've defined the data will be updated, or is it something that's being uploaded or imported manually by the user? All of those are what we call data sources, and if you want to find more information about managing them, that's the key term you should be looking for on our wiki or across our video channel. Another major key term that I want to highlight because it's something very unique and powerful about Explore Analytics is something called the mashup. The mashup is a way that you can combine data in Explore Analytics without having to make any changes to the data sources. And the way that we do that is by combining two or more views, again, a view being a way we're displaying information, in Explore Analytics. So for example, I have this one view that's showing me incidents by month, and let's say it's coming against one real-time ServiceNow data source. And then I have a second view that's calls by month. It could be in another data source like the call system or another table within the same data source, or it could be coming from the an Excel import. It doesn't matter where those views are coming from, but by the user combining the view 1 of incidents by month and view 2, the calls by month together, the resulting view is a mashup called incidents and calls by month. These are very powerful types of views, these mashups. We'll talk a lot more about them. There's dedicated videos on how you can build them, but just know that when you're looking to combine data, one of the more powerful ways to do that is using the mashup. Once you've assembled together these different views, you've built a number of them, whether they're real-time or against trend jobs, you want to start to present them together. Now, you can present them outside of Explore Analytics by embedding them in other user interfaces or just looking at them within Explore Analytics. But if you're an Enterprise Plus subscriber, you have the ability to build what we call a dashboard. A dashboard is a collection of views that we're presenting together in one user interface. They can have some shared slicers where you can filter all the views on the dashboard together. Again, there's a video that goes very deep into dashboards, how you can build them, all about dashboards from end to end, but just wanted to make sure you know that when you're thinking about how do I present this out to our users, how do I present this out to the consumers of these reports, a dashboard is a very powerful way to collect these and present them together. And then the last key term in application we want to touch on is application. Application is a way of grouping together views, trend jobs, dashboards, all of these different components into one movable package. So for example, at Explore Analytics, we have some pre-built report libraries. One of them is our IT service management. Another one is our project demand and resource management applications. These applications contain a number of different views, data sources, scheduled jobs, trend jobs that you can move from data source to data source in a single go. You could download them as an XML file if you wanted to kind of store the metadata. It's a really holistic way of packaging together a number of different views. Now, some organizations may use this a lot. Others might not wind up using this as much. But just so know, if you're thinking about packaging views for distributing or for moving from data source to data source, the concept you need to research more on is applications. And again, we have a number of videos or wiki articles to be able to touch more into that. Thank you for joining the Explore Analytics training module on key concepts. There'll be further training modules on building views and building with some of these other concepts that we've talked about. There's also a number of different videos that are out there about how to do some very cool things with all the concepts we've seen, and the Explore Analytics wiki, which touches on documentation on how to accomplish all of these. Thank you very much for joining us, and we hope to see you building reports soon.